Okay, let's just jump right in. If you've ever tried to build a Kali Linux lab, you know the feeling, right? You finally carved out some time, you're making progress, you're in the zone, and then boom, it all just falls apart. Well, today we're going to build the blueprint to stop that from ever happening again. We're talking about a lab that survives what you throw at it, keeps your network safe, and this is the big one, it just works.
Wow, yeah, that one hits close to home, doesn't it? It's so true. You're not trying to become a professional virtual machine fixer, right? You're here to learn cybersecurity, but it feels like your lab has this secret mission to sabotage you. And look, let's be clear. This is not a you problem. It's about the foundation, the very ground you're building on, being shaky from the start.
So what's actually happening here? Well, there's a name for it. Infrastructure debt. Think of it like all those tiny little I'll fix it later decisions. You know, the network you didn't label, the snapshot you forgot to take. They don't seem like a big deal at the time, but they're quietly stacking up like a Jenga tower, and then one day a simple update comes along and just topples the whole thing. This isn't you failing. It's just what happens when you have a fragile setup. And the best part? We can totally fix the setup.
Okay, so this is absolutely key. We need to completely change our goal. Stop trying to build the perfect lab. It's a myth. The real goal, the only thing that matters, is this. Can you get your lab back up and running from a total failure in under 3 minutes? That's the metric. Because when you can do that, you get back the two things you can't afford to lose, your time and your focus.
All right, part one, your unbreakable foundation. To hit that 3-minute restart goal, we've got to go back to basics. We're starting with the foundation itself, and that means picking your hypervisor and, crucially, getting the networking right from day one. Yeah, I know, this is the boring stuff, but trust me, it's what makes all the exciting stuff possible. Okay, first a big decision, your hypervisor. And honestly, let's not overthink this. VirtualBox, easiest way to get started, like right now. VMware, super polished, great performance, and it's free for most of us. And Proxmox, that's for when you're ready to go big with a dedicated server, a real home data center. The biggest mistake here is getting stuck trying to decide. Just pick one, commit to it, and stop resetting your progress every week. All right, this right here is the secret weapon for networking that doesn't make you want to pull your hair out. It's the 3-network model. Super simple. First, a NAT network. This is just for your Kali machine to safely get out to the internet for updates. Second, a host-only network. Think of this as a private tunnel just between your main computer and your lab, perfect for swapping files. And third, the Target LAN. This is your sandbox, a completely isolated island where your vulnerable machines live. They can't touch your home network. Super safe. And this quote, this is exactly why we do that 3-network setup. When your lab network is just flat and open, you're basically inviting chaos. By segmenting, by creating these little islands, you contain the blast radius. Your experiments stay where they belong, in the sandbox. And your important stuff stays safe. Part 2, the lab's time machine. Okay, our foundation's solid, we've got our hypervisor, we've got our networks, now we need a safety net. This is all about building a time machine for your lab so you can experiment without fear.
So let me ask you this. What's the one thing, the one single habit that lets you be truly brave in your lab? The thing that gives you the confidence to run that sketchy exploit you know might just break everything?
That's it, snapshots. And look, they're not just some button you click. They are a mindset. They're what turns a potentially disastrous experiment into a totally safe learning experience. With a snapshot, your worst-case scenario isn't a 2-hour rebuild, it's a 45-second rollback. Total game changer.
But you gotta use them right. So here are the golden rules. Always take a snapshot before you do anything major. Name them clearly. Future you is going to be tired and will have no idea what snapshot 1 means. Keep a few key milestones saved. Clean install, tools ready, you get it. And finally, and I cannot stress this enough, snapshots are not backups. You still need to export a full backup, a golden image, to a separate hard drive every now and then.
Part 3, repeatable, reliable, responsible. So, we have our safety net in place? Awesome, but let's talk about the habits that mean you don't have to pull the emergency cord every 5 minutes. This is all about making your lab repeatable, reliable, and responsible. This right here is such a huge mental shift. We all do it. We create this perfect virtual machine with the custom terminal, the cool wallpaper. We treat it like a pet. But that pet is incredibly fragile. One bad update and it's gone. A repeatable build, on the other hand, is a tool. It's a hammer.
If it breaks, who cares? You just make another one in minutes.
And that's the whole philosophy in a nutshell. Real control, real ownership of your lab isn't about having one perfect VM. It's about knowing you can burn it all down and rebuild it from scratch calmly in just a few minutes. That means your build notes are way more valuable than that one perfect VM ever could be. And of course, a reliable lab has to be a responsible one. This is non-negotiable. It means you are only ever using machines that were designed to be vulnerable, that you have explicit permission to test, and they live on that isolated Target LAN. Always. And please, start small. A lab with 2 or 3 machines that actually works is a million times better than some fantasy 12-machine dream that you never even get working.
Part 4, the 7-step brutal blueprint. All right, let's bring it all home. We've talked about the foundation, the safety net, and the philosophy. Now let's assemble it into a simple, actionable plan. This is it, the blueprint for a lab that finally works for you, not against you.
So why brutal? The only brutal part is having the discipline to actually do it. Okay, here we go. 1, name everything clearly. 2, pick one hypervisor and commit. 3, build those 3 networks. 4, make a golden Kali image and snapshot it immediately. 5, add one legal target on its isolated network. 6, document your build so you can repeat it. And finally, 7, lock in a rhythm. Spend 15 minutes a week updating and verifying. That's the whole blueprint. And you can really see how it all fits together here, like a pipeline. You start with your foundation, the hypervisor and base images. On top of that, you build segmentation with your 3 networks. Then you guarantee repeatability with notes or scripts. And you wrap the whole thing in a safety blanket of rollback capability, using both snapshots and exports. Each piece builds on the last. It's a system designed to be tough. You know, this really is the whole point. Your lab should be boring to maintain. Seriously. The maintenance should be a checklist you run through without even thinking about it. Why? Because all that brain power you were spending fixing things, now it's free to be spent on the exciting part, the actual learning, the reason you built the lab in the first place. So, I'll leave you with this one question. Take a hard look at your lab right now. After all this, what is it? Is it a reliable tool that works for you? Or is it a fragile little pet that you are constantly having to take care of? The blueprint's right here. Now the choice is yours.